All right? The first is aerobic, and everybody is familiar with aerobic exercise. Aerobic has had the most popularity because it has the greatest cardiovascular benefit. In fact, this originated over in Europe, where a study was done on skiers and showed that it took 3 days a week of aerobic exercise to improve their aerobic capacity. And from that, people then said, okay, all you need is 3 days a week. Okay? Because it took 3 days a week to do it, that's all you need. Well, in fact, if you do it 4 days a week, you get a little more benefit, 5 a little more. So we shouldn't really limit ourselves to 3 days a week. And what is aerobic training? It's using large muscle groups for prolonged periods of time. Large muscle groups for prolonged periods of time. So you can then figure out if an exercise you're doing is in fact aerobic. Swimming, running, bicycling, rowing. These are all aerobic exercises. And these carry with them great cardiovascular benefit. What happens to our bodies with aerobic exercise? Our blood pressure goes down. Our cholesterol profile improves. Our heart muscles actually strengthen, become better pumps. The blood vessels in the periphery, in our arms and our legs, these blood vessels in the muscles, blood vessels improve. They actually they function on a better level. Our lungs become more efficient. We have less stress and less heart disease. So aerobic exercise conveys great benefit. What about weight training? Weight training is also known as resistance training. And when I first got involved in weight training a number of years ago, I've since been injured enough times that I've had to stop and start and stop and start. So I no longer look like I do weight training. But anyway, at one point I was very into this. When I was much younger, I would look at the weightlifters and think these guys are like, these are pinheads. These are the stupid people. Well, in fact, it turns out that they're not quite so stupid as I had thought. What does weight training do? Weight training increases our metabolism. And how does that benefit us? Well, everybody, not everybody, most people try to lose weight at some point in his or her life. After menopause, it becomes harder. All right? It becomes much harder to lose weight. So what do most women do? Well, they go to the gym and they get on a treadmill. Or they buy a treadmill or a bicycle for their home. And they position the treadmill or the bicycle in front of their television set. And they use it occasionally, and otherwise they use it as a coat rest or something like that. All right? Well, weight training increases metabolism much better than aerobic training. And the way to lose weight is to fool our bodies, is to increase our own metabolism, so our bodies believe that it is in fact a time of great food. This is a time of plenty, as opposed to a time of starvation. One of the worst ways to lose weight is to eat one meal a day. Because the rest of the day, the body's going, oh my God, it's a time of starvation, I got to conserve, I'll slow my metabolism, and everything slows down, and you don't lose any weight. Weight training increases metabolism, and it increases it much, much better than aerobic training, not just for the time during which you are training, but for about 12 hours after your metabolism stays up. Aerobic training lifts your metabolism for somewhere in the order of 2 to 4 hours after training. So you get a benefit of probably 8 hours of increased metabolism from weight training. You get fewer injuries. If you strengthen yourself, you're less prone to injuries. The next one is very important, osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is clearly decreased with resistance training. Clearly decreased. Osteoporosis is a great cause of morbidity and mortality in the country. All right? People die because they fracture their hips and they fracture their spines. Right. So if you can lift weights, then you can decrease the likelihood that that's going to happen. In diabetic patients, blood sugars have been shown to be stabilized. Stress is obviously diminished with weight training. And a bonus is you get to look and feel better. Now you may be looking and saying, well, weightlifting is for the 20-year-olds or 30-year-olds or whatever, and I'm too old to weightlift. Well, there have been studies done at Tufts where they took patients in nursing homes, patients who were bedridden in nursing homes, and started them with lifting weights. Now, obviously, they didn't, hoist a 200-pound weight onto these people, but they started them with light weights, and then they would increase their weight lifting capacity. And what they found was they were able to get these people from being bedridden to being fully ambulatory. Okay, so they totally changed their lives by having them lift weights. You're never too old to start lifting weights. I'll tell you though, if you want to start lifting weights, you should have a trainer teach you. It's very important because you don't want to get hurt. So have a trainer and find a good trainer. And just as a plug for the John Henry Center, which I have to throw in, we have a guy there named Sean O'Hare who has his master's in exercise physiology, and he teaches people. If you can get somebody, if you can get either him or somebody like him, somebody's master's trained in exercise physiology, then you're in good hands. The third component of exercise is the most boring and the most often neglected, and that's flexibility training. And that's stretching. All right? The reason stretching is so very important, one of them is that it decreases back pain, lower back pain more than upper back pain. And lower back pain is a major, major problem in our society. So stretching exercises done on a daily basis can improve or diminish lower back pain. It also decreases something called DOMS, or delayed onset muscle soreness, that can come with weightlifting. When you stretch your muscles after you lift weights, you help mobilize lactic acid and other byproducts of exercise, so your body takes them up and eliminates them rather than just sitting in